Hello, just making a quick video here. I'm at the property in Kennebec, Lyman County, 480 acres. There's 1/4 to the north of the road, which you can't see in this video. And I'm just going to pan here a little bit across, and then 2/4 to the south, but they're all lined up longitudinally, all right there together. I'm just going to kind of pan over here to, if you can see Medicine Butte in the distance there. It's a significant Native American historical land site. I'm not an expert on that, but I know it's been very significant to Native Americans over the decades and centuries. So this is a very unique property. It has, I would call it kind of a three-pronged aspect to it. It's an incredible location. It's only 6 miles off of interstate access. And I drove from Sioux Falls today. You know, there's a pheasant. I don't know if you can see it flying out of the trees. Drove here today, left my house in Sioux Falls, and actually got to Kennebec, which is 6 miles away from the property, and made it in 2 hours and 10 minutes, going about 80 miles an hour. And Rapid City is also about the same distance from Kennebec. So Rapid and Sioux Falls, two great communities in South Dakota, the two largest communities, are within just over 2-hour drive, which is really remarkable. And what's great about this site is when you get here, you just feel completely remote and isolated, but yet you're close to these larger communities, and then you're close to Pierce, South Dakota, the capital of the state, and that type of thing. I'll just pan back kind of here. I'm obviously not a videographer, using my phone, my camera on the small point and shoot camera to do this. But so great location. They just put in a brand new $40 million grain handling facility last year. This summer they completed everything. Fantastic site, 6 miles away as well. Chamberlain, South Dakota on the Missouri River. They've got Cedar Shore Resort, which is a fantastic resort, and they have slips there for boats and yachts. Beautiful, pristine river. And then if you go up to Pierre and north of Owyhee Dam, which I think is the second or third largest earthen dam in the world. It was at the time it was built. I don't know anymore. But so Lake Owyhee is a wonderful reservoir, again, the Missouri River. And it is not an exaggeration to say it's one of the greatest walleye fisheries in the world. And this farm happens to be one of the best wild pheasant places in the world, and the numbers of pheasants here are remarkable. Now we've had a few down years because of whether it was a hail storm or drought. You're going to have some fluctuation there, but generally speaking, the numbers of birds here, wild birds, I don't stock birds here, has just been remarkable. And what else? Well, they had about 8 inches of snow, as you can see, and all the corn stalks are filled up, which is a good thing to preserve moisture for no-till, probably beans next year, or whatever a person would want to do. This is a fantastic property. I've been here for, I believe, 12 years, and I've worked hard, to make it presentable, or I should say habitable for wildlife. And the wildlife here is also remarkable. Without exaggerating, you can have trophy mule deer here. The neighbors were talking about a whitetail that was hanging around my property this fall. I don't know if it was ever taken or not. So you have mules and whitetails and a fair number of antelope. That can fluctuate too. Some years I see a lot of antelope, other years not very many. The grouse, prairie chickens also can be in fairly abundant numbers. I wouldn't say great, and that also has fluctuated quite a bit over the years. I've seen a couple of years where I'll see flocks of 30, 40 fly way over high, and I think they're prairie chickens, but I would have a hard time identifying it for sure. But and then you have coyote and fox. You have an incredible waterfowl population here in the spring for nesting, and in the fall there are a lot of geese and ducks around. The property isn't really set up for waterfowl hunting per se, although there's two big dams, or one fairly large dam, which is about half full now. We couldn't get the rains this year, hoping to fill it up this winter, and still going to pan here a little bit. But I had a lot of nesting pintails and mallards, geese nest here, and it's just about the right amount because they can become a nuisance and a trouble, as most of you would know, even in cities and things. But the number of geese here doesn't seem to affect the crops. I mean, they may graze about a quarter to a half an acre by the pond. So it's great having them around. These are Canadian geese. Once in a while you'll see snow and blue geese come through here, but more now than 10, 15 years ago. I doubt you would have ever seen any. And I've seen a few, what are they called, speckle bellies, white front. That tends to be more of a spring phenomenon, and the number of pintails that come through here in the spring is amazing. I think this is considered, this area, one of the top nesting sites in the world for pintails, and those of you who know waterfowl know that those are an exceptional bird and a great bird. I've included a few pictures of a pair on my Landwatch site there, where I have the pictures posted. Panning over here to this dam, the larger one, the back side of it, and typically because of the cattails, and there's also actually an island there, but it's not an island now because of the lower water level. But that island is a great nesting site for ducks and geese, protected from predators. So back to coyotes, fox, antelope, mule deer, white-tailed deer, abundant pheasants, waterfowl, cottontail rabbits, jackrabbits. I'm sure I'm missing something, but that kind of gives you a rough idea. I hope this wind isn't goofing this up too bad. Panning over here again. So that's just kind of an impromptu ad-lib description of this property. I don't know if I closed the loop on it. So this property is exceptionally located, easy access to grain markets, and to people. The Sioux Falls and Rapid City have excellent airports, friendly people. So you got the great location. You have production, which ranges from good to excellent on the entire property. And then you have aesthetics and wildlife and recreation, both on the farm as well as nearby to Pierre and Chamberlain on the Missouri River. So you can do a lot of things here. You can mountain bike, you can hike, you can, when the ponds are full, I've had fish in them. Right now there might be some catfish in there, not sure. So the property could also be taken to another level, put maybe possibly an artesian well in to keep water in these dams in the years when they do get low, and it would be a boon for wildlife as well. But the property is only going to get better. These trees are now anywhere from 8 feet to 12 feet, sometimes even 13 maybe. So they're really hitting full stride. They've got their roots under them finally, and I've been filling in over the years, and so I have 3 shelter belts. You're looking at them, 2 of them now, and they just are really beautiful. And a person could also, I've been mowing between them, but a person could put some beautiful wild native flowers and grasses and not mow it and control the weeds, and then of course great nesting site and winter cover and that type of thing. Although if you got big heavy snows, I'm sure that would get covered up. The possibilities out here are really great. I actually had an engineering company design a large dam in the center of the south 2 quarters that would fill up kind of the back channels and almost be like a mini Lake Oahe. And I've got those plans. I think I paid $1,500 to have that surveyed professionally, and that's something that at some point whoever would be the owner of the property, I could consult with them and help them with that, and it would really make this property just that much more amazing. But like I said, the trees are growing. This property is just going to get better with age, and doing mostly no-till agriculture out here, and the main crops would be soybeans, sorghum or /milo, corn. I don't do sunflowers, but a lot of people like sunflowers out here. They're a great cash crop. You can do millet. What else am I missing? You can do, winter wheat, spring wheat. They both do fairly well out here. And my hands are getting cold, so hopefully this will give you just a good overview, and I would be happy to answer any and all questions about the property. I'll be as forthright as you want me to be. In other words, I'll tell you everything you want to know, the good, the bad. I don't think there's really any ugly out here, but the good and not so good, but most of it is really good or really great. And I'm not saying that to, obviously you want to promote your property because you believe in it, but I think a lot of the pictures I posted and what I tell you, there will be kind of confirm, there'd be an agreement, I guess, between what I say and what the pictures show. So didn't articulate that very well, but I think you get the point. So be happy to talk to anybody about it, and Merry Christmas to everybody. And it's a great time of the year. Talk to you later. Bye.